Welcome back to the Cozy Rosy Crochet channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of a yarn opening for a very special upcoming event for later in the year. I'm also going to show you some of the yarns that I bought when I was away in France, because yes, I gave in and visited not one but two different yarn shops. I want to share those experiences with you. I've got a little bit of background videos of one of the yarn shops. The other one I was nattering away too much, so I haven't got a lot to show, but my goodness, I want to showcase the yarn that I bought because it is beautiful. Alongside that, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of an update of some of the things that are coming up in the next few months, because we are heading into the summer season, which should be the quiet time, but in fact it's when things really start kicking off for the rest of the crochet year. In case we haven't met before, my name is Fiona and I am the designer behind Cozy Rosy Crochet, this channel here, and of course my website Cozy Rosy UK. I'm going to start with a website update for you, because one of the challenges I set myself for 2024 was to update my website, overhaul a lot of the admin stuff, and I've been putting it off for quite some time, but the website transfer is in progress. I hope it's all going well. The new site is up. It's not finished. I still have lots of fiddly bits to do, but it's a lot easier to move around. Now, I do get a few comments here and there about the number of ads on my website. Just like my content here on YouTube, you will see adverts during my content, both on my website and right here on YouTube, because that's how I earn my money. The majority of my patterns are available to view for free on my website, and the way that you pay for that is by putting up with the adverts. And I appreciate that you do have to put up with them. Sometimes, well, everyone sees a different level of adverts on my website. I go on there, I don't see an awful lot because obviously I visit my own website quite a lot. But if you're visiting for the first time, it is going to be everywhere. I can't make it work any better. All the settings for the adverts that you're shown, it's obviously PG friendly, because I hate the idea of seeing anything horrible on someone's website, but it can be a little bit heavy in ads sometimes when you're first visiting. I appreciate they are annoying, but the alternative is, of course, all my patterns are also available to purchase on a PDF, which are completely ad-free. There's no links in there. It's just the written pattern with photo tutorials to support you when you're making your patterns from me. I know it's annoying, but it's quite an industry standard. For the majority of us designers, we do have adverts on our website as a way to pay to run the website, host it, and do the updates behind the scenes as well. It took a lot longer than I anticipated. I didn't realise I had so much content on my website. In fact, I discovered there are over 400 different articles on my website, and they're not just patterns. Obviously, I've got stitch tutorials, crochet alongs. I mean, okay, there are 30 different blog posts for the hodgepodge blanket alone, because each square has its own page, but all the information is there for you to search through, to research and kind of read about different techniques and topics. And unfortunately, the ads aren't going away just yet, because it's just a bit of a challenging time of year for crochet designers, at least for me personally. One of the reasons I've made this video right now is because I'm having a bit of a day. It's the time of the year where, for me, summer is nearly over, even though it's not really begun here in the UK. We had a few nice days, but designing wise, I'm already thinking autumn, winter, and getting those in production for me to make my samples ready to send them out to pattern testing. I don't know how familiar you are with the process of releasing patterns. If you'd like some more information, I can do a whole separate video specifically on my process and how I get my patterns ready to release. I'm very happy to share all of that process with you. Not all of it's that exciting, some of it really is, and I have to say my highlight has to be receiving the finished photos from my testers. That's when it really comes to life. Even though by that point I've finished my sample, seeing someone else follow your pattern through means, and seeing their finished project, oh, it's amazing. The same as when you share one of your finished projects with me. It just makes my year every single time. It's really wonderful to see you following a pattern, stitching it up, and then sharing that finished project with me. Now I know that for a lot of people, this channel is mainly about crochet and yarn, so you don't want to hear too much about my web update. Just know that it's in progress and things are going to be continually getting better, so it's easier for you to find exactly what you're looking for on my website. Shall we start with what's going to be coming up in September? Seems a while away, but I'm so excited to open this. I've been very patient. I'm going to show you the bag first. Now, I hope you are familiar with Joanna from High Desert Yarns, because her yarn is hand dyed by herself. It's absolutely beautiful, and this yarn I've treated myself to with a lovely little discount because she's a good friend. But we're doing a collaborative crochet along a little bit later in the year, but the colorways that we're using are going to be available to purchase on pre-order before the crochet along starts. So this is kind of a sneak peek. I really hope she doesn't mind me sharing it this early. And these colorways have been designed for me, kind of, which, you know, alongside her expertise, I've kind of said the colors that I like. She's put them together. I've seen some previews and some photos. This is the first time I'm going to get to touch it and hold it, and most importantly, share it with you. So let's get this bag open. Okay, should we have a little peek inside? Can you see in there? Oh, let me just get this beauties out. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm going to open this bag first of all. It's got one of each colourway in it. Oh, it has that lovely hand-dyed smell, which not everybody likes, but I certainly do. So this is High Desert Yarn, and this is shade Rose. I'm going to give you some close-ups on these in a moment, don't worry. And then we also have this poppy colourway as well. You know how when you get so excited waiting for something to arrive. This actually arrived the day before we got back from holiday in France, where I'm going to show you the other yarn from. And that was nearly 2 weeks ago. And I have waited and waited for an opportunity to just kind of sit down and chat with you and talk about this beautiful yarn. Oh my god, I'm literally in absolute awe. I'm going to share a couple of photos. I'll check with Joanna if she's okay for me to share these with you. These were the test skeins that she made to showcase the colorways that are being included. You can see there are some beautiful speckles. We've got this beautiful rose color in both of the skeins. It features in the autumn poppy as well as a solid colorway all on its own. It's not solid, which is really important for me because I am absolutely in love with having very slight gradients when you're stitching up a project. Not necessarily all in the same place. You know, I like it when colour pulls in different patterns, like in the cable and cross cardigan, in the colourway I used there. And there are some lighter elements in this solid without it being left the plain base colour. So this is a size 3 yarn, and it has a recommended hook size of 4.5mm. With knitting needles you go a little bit smaller, but I would probably go for a 4.5 or a 4, maybe even up to a 5. It's definitely a size 3 and not an Aran weight. I just can't wait to get this all wound up. So the base for both of these different colourways, look at those oranges. Oh my god, love it. So the base that has been used for this colourway is a superwash merino. So it means that it's extra squishy. It means that it can be washed easily, which is really essential when you're using like natural fibres. And I don't know how much I'm allowed to give away right now of what I'm making with these. I'm sure, no, all I will tell you is keep your eyes peeled, because there's going to be an awful lot happening with these skeins of yarn. It's going to be a little bit later in the year. My pattern testers are going to see these a lot earlier than anyone else will, because I'm aiming to get the patterns designed and ready in time to showcase the final projects when the pre-sale for the yarn happens, which is not that far away. I believe the pre-sale is going to be starting in early July. That's to allow Joanna to make the quantities required. But the good news is, one of the key elements we've done when it comes to this upcoming event is that all the patterns are going to need either 1 or 2 skeins of yarn. You know I'm a bit of a fiend when it comes to keeping hold of the hand-dyed yarn that I buy, and instead we're going to be doing this crochet along with really accessible patterns that are going to be well worth stitching up in something so beautiful. The colourways together, oh my god, she surpassed herself. Even what I'd seen in the photos, this on camera looks stunning. So the Autumn Poppy is already a firm favourite. I can't wait to see how all these colours stitch up together. This isn't all I have. There is also another little bag there. I might not have to tell you this either, I don't know. But Joanna might be coming over to the UK in a couple of months. So I might have to ask her to stash a couple more of these into her suitcase for me, because I really, really love this colour. Doesn't it suit my colourway so well? Anyway, I digress. Even the orange isn't too orange against, because I'm a bit of a red-faced person. But anyway, so yes, there's going to be a crochet along. Very accessible, beginner-ish friendly patterns, always with video tutorials, as you know. And think autumnal accessories, hence why we have an Autumn Poppy. I can't wait to share my progress with these patterns and kind of give you lots of sneak peeks as I make progress with them. I just need to make sure that I keep on top of everything I'm making, because there is a lot happening, as I've mentioned, over the coming months. And these patterns, I won't tell you how many, are certainly just some of them that I need to get making as quickly as possible. Do let me know what you think of these colourways. I hope you love them as much as I do, because I think they suit my branding very, very well. And I love a touch of orange without it being too Halloween-y. Does that make sense? Anyway, you can just see at the very top of my screen here, a lot of orange that has sat on my shelf. As you know, if you watched me sorting my stash, it's been here for years. I can't figure out what to do with it. Now, I have been clearing out my shelves very slowly. I was supposed to start using this box up on a pattern. I was going to remake the pattern that's releasing next month, which is a summer garment. Very, very excited to be sharing it with you. I'm not wearing it today because it is not a summery day here when I'm filming, but you can't quite see just off screen. Where are we? I'm not very good at my direction. Just here, there is, next to the orange block, there is a now half empty block. I've got to finish up stitching the other half of the cardigan, and I'm very proud to say I will have then completely cleared, not quite, I'm going to have a couple left over, but I will have cleared some of my stash, which is making me happy, planning how I'm using up all of this yarn behind me. So these are the first yarn that I want to share with you today. Very special reveal. Probably not doing it justice really, but I can't give away too much. I feel like I want to save some of it for later. So let me move that out of the way and we'll get on to the next lot. Now, you may have seen, oops, try that again. You may have seen these yarns on my Instagram already, because I visited a yarn shop in so the first yarn shop I visited in France while I was there, we went to Bordeaux for the week, not quite a week actually, it was just under a week. First and foremost, if you've never been, you need to go. It has the most perfect infrastructure, puts the UK to absolute shame. Everyone was lovely. We got to go to the beach, we got to go to a city centre. It's probably one of the most perfect holiday destinations for a city break that's not just a city break. If you like that combination of a day out, a bit of history, if you like wine, I don't drink, but it's like a wine capital, really, really is. We did visit Saint-Emilion, which is one of the oldest wine regions in the whole of France. The history is phenomenal in that place, and there is an actual cathedral, a church underground. And the whole place is just beautiful. Saint-Emilion, I would highly recommend if you get a chance to go and visit that. It's outside of Bordeaux, not very far. You can get there on a train. And if you go to Bordeaux, just go. Don't even think about it. Mainly because of this yarn shop. I'd never seen anything like this before. If I can say the name, I can't say the name. I'm going to put a link in the top right hand corner because I can't say it. It's La something. La Droginaire, I'm ruining that word, but it was mind-boggling to me. So you walk into this beautiful shop and there is almost a whole wall covered in draped yarns. They're kind of slip stitched over these poles, so they're just hanging in all their different rainbow colours. They're all different fibres, all different textures, all different combination of fibres, and you simply pick the colour you want, the fibre you want, and you tell the person in the shop, I need 300 metres of that, I need 200 metres of this and 400 metres of that, and they literally wind it from a cone ready for you to take away and make your project. So I bought something a little bit different. I've never worked with 100% linen before, but it was, you know, early in summer or late spring, and I was thinking, well, first and foremost, this coral colour is just one of my absolute favourites. It does remind me of the Kotlin, which is from We Crochet. I took a coral colour from then to do a skirt pattern, and that was a cotton linen blend, but this is 100% linen, and it's surprisingly soft for what is considered, it's basically a fibre that is spun. You can see the individual, I don't know if you can see there, the individual strands of the fibres. That's not clear at all, Fiona, is it? Well, that really shows all the different strands of linen. I just wanted to make a quick bag with these two colours. I have the project in mind. It's been on the list, one of those that's been on the list for years. I don't know if I'll get it released this year in time, but I'm certainly going to be stitching it up as soon as I can, especially now I have this beautiful yarn. What I thought was really interesting was, because obviously there's no yarn bands, because all the yarn was on cones and they just spun as much as you need, they simply gave you a label along with the product name, the lot number, and and the colourway, obviously, and all the information en français. So, je ne comprends pas, but I'm sure I could work it out. Good old Google Translate, eh? But it's linen. I'm not going to be washing it. I don't need to. But the fibres they had, oh my God, yeah, it was mind-blowing. I'll put, as I said, the link not only in that top right-hand corner, when I mentioned earlier, but I'll pop it in the description box, because you can order online, and you can order exactly what you need, and they ship worldwide. So it's been added onto my internet favourites, I'm afraid, because I really enjoyed chatting away. And I didn't even tell you about the buttons, did I? I've got a bit of an obsession with buttons at the moment, but the buttons choices were completely unbelievable. I'm going to put it all back in the bag so I don't get myself confused. Oh, you might want to know how much I spent. So this is 50 grams of each colourway, and it was €14.80. So about £12 for 100 grams of 100% linen. A really good price, a really good price. Can't wait to stitch that up. The shop that I bought the linen in was actually a bit of a rogue find. We were just wandering around. It was Monday. Majority of shops are closed on a Monday, especially in like towns and villages in France. They don't tend to necessarily open on a Monday. So we had planned on going to the second shop we went to on Monday, but it wasn't open. So then we found the first shop as a random walk around. The second shop that we visited, this was not prompted by me, I do have to say. This is a whole 100% encouraged by my lovely husband, because he knows it's one of my favourite things to do is to yarn shop. So he got searching, and he found this other shop that wasn't open on the Monday, but it was open the next time we went into town, city, whatever you want to call it. And it's called La Lanière. I hope I've said that right. I can't tell you how enthusiastic, welcoming and wonderful the owner, or the lady that was in the shop, assuming she was the owner, how excited she was first of all to find out about me being a crochet designer. She likes to crochet, but obviously, like many places, the majority of purchasers are knitters. In her shop, she had the most impressive range of Japanese yarn that I'd ever seen. I didn't buy any because they were a little bit more vibrant than I would traditionally use. I mean, going back to this is definitely more at risk of colour pooling than many things I would use, but I'm excited to work with that because I know I have the solid to counteract it. but some of this Japanese yarn was literally mind-blowing. There was a magazine that she was showing me that had just arrived that had a granny square sweater in it, and it looked lovely stitched up, but my visual, like, oh, there's a lot of colours in there, I couldn't quite translate it enough. She also stocked a locally made spun, Sean spun and dyed yarn. And that's what I was really after, was something French, basically. One of the things you'll notice is I only tend to show you when I've bought fancy stuff. So rest assured, normally all I buy is acrylic or cotton, and I don't tend to buy a lot of fancy yarns, and I only tend to show you when I've bought something interesting. If I've bought a whole hunk of, like a 10-pack of paint box yarns, Simply Aran, I'm not going to show you that I've bought that, because you're going to see it when it's finished. But when it's something a little bit fancy and a little bit special, I do want to share it with you, not because I'm showing off, but it's because I'm really guilty of getting stuck in using acrylic, not thinking about, because acrylic can work pretty much with everything. I'm in no way a yarn snob. I can't afford to be, because I'm slightly larger. When I'm making garments, I use a lot of yarn. So acrylic tends to be my go-to, or just plain cotton or a cotton blend, because it keeps garments affordable. When I'm thinking about like winter accessories, giving the game away here ever so slightly, when I'm thinking about winter accessories or scarves and things, that even blankets certainly, I might upgrade the fibre that I'm using just because it makes that project a little bit more exciting, or I'll choose a fancy colourway sometimes. This yarn that I've bought from La Lainière, I really hope I'm saying that. La Lainière. No, it must be. Lainière, I don't know. No, because that sounds a different language. Anyway, from here, as I said, it's made in France, shorn in France. She said it was about 20, maybe 50, maybe 200 kilometres away from the shop, which was in the centre of Bordeaux. So I chose, again, everyone thinks I'm mad. I've showed this to my friend that the minute I bought it, because it's literally her favourite colours. It's this. I mean, I know I'm wearing, okay. So I've gone for 3 different greens. I'm wearing green. I never thought I was a green person, but I've bought these colours to go together because they do wonderfully. And I'm now worried I don't have enough for the idea that I have in my mind, because this is going to be turned into a garment, a nice, simple, easy to wear, easy to make garment. And the reason I'm going to do it, or what I want to make in it, is because it's going to be one of those wardrobe staples. Nothing overly fancy, not necessarily covered in textured stitches and things like that. Mainly because it's 100% wool. Yes, I am officially mad. I have bought 100% wool to make a garment with in these 3 colours. Let's do it the right way up, because that's the way I'm going to work it. I'm either going to make a top-down sweater, so it's ever so slightly ombre, or I'm going to work bottom up and split for the shoulders. Again, I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do it, or what I'm going to make. Oh, it's going to topple, but it's definitely my favourite colour. It's definitely one of my favourite colours. I can't believe how close that ball is to what I'm wearing. But I just loved, I can't hold them, I've not got big enough hands. I just love the fact that they are so ombre and they work so well together. Oh, that looks really nice, doesn't it, between the 2 different greens? I don't know, but I'm going to figure out something to make with it. I did buy quite a lot. I bought enough for me to make a sweater. And as I mentioned, I'm a bit of a chunky girl. So I use a lot of yarn when I'm making garments. That has also gone back into its bag along with the card, so I can keep a track of everything. But I'm not going to be getting to that anytime soon, because as I've mentioned, and I keep saying, there's so much else happening in the upcoming months. So let's go through some of the events and happenings that are coming up. So alongside all the usual excitement for pattern releases and all those kind of lovely things, it's really heading into the start of wool show season here in the UK. We've already had a couple, and there is another one coming up at the start of June, and I'm not showing at this wool show, but my friend is. This is where I'm going to be going to the Wool Monty to support Me and My Hook at that show. She has a stall. I'm incredibly excited, but I've already checked with her that I'm allowed to share as much behind the scenes information as I can with you, because a little bit of foreshadowing, I am aiming to get out and about a bit more in 2025. As I said, there's been a lot of admin stuff going on this year, and the reason for that is I need for things to be running smoothly so I can kind of focus on different elements of my business and to keep moving forward. One of them is going to be to start hopefully attending more wool shows. I do have one booked, and it's going to be a brand new show. First time it's being held in December, and I'm really excited. I will give you more information on that when that happens. But there's also upcoming, so that's June. June, we've got the Wool Monty that I'm going to. In July, we've got the Summer Wool Festival. That's being held in Ampthill, and I'm going to be doing workshops there. Pop a link in the description box if you'd like to come along and take part in one of my workshops. There's 4 different ones to choose from, 2 on each day. In August, we've then got the North East Wool Show. That's all the way up in Newcastle, so I'll be heading up north again. Absolutely love that show. I've got my fingers crossed that my husband's about, because I want to take him up to that mill I went to in Scotland last year. Where are we up to? August. September, we're going to be seeing more of this yarn. Oh, let's sort that hair out. In September, we're going to be seeing more of this yarn. I might have, if I get it done in time, we might have another crochet along also running in September. And then I've got another design I need to work on, just a little bit of a design. I'm going to be collaborating with lots of designers in October for another amazing project. I haven't talked about the pattern release in August because got to figure out if I can get it made in time. So yeah, this has been my little kind of quick break with you guys, just to update you on some of the things that are happening, because I'm trying to get my head straight around it all, because there is so many moving parts, so many different things happening that I don't know where I am. I don't know what day of the week it is half the time. I'm working a little bit more this month as well. There's so many things different. There's so many, I can't even talk. If I think too much, I'm not able to talk. It's also exciting. Got to make sure I don't get too overwhelmed. Just take it day by day, step by step, because there's still things to finish off for the In the Mood. Bernadine and I, who's Me and My Hook, that I'm going to be seeing in June again, can't wait. We have a few discussions to have about finishing up this year's In the Mood, because I know we're only in May, but there's still more information you need. You need the joining of the squares and things like that. And we're going to be asking for your feedback soon, see how you're getting on. I must send a few emails about that. I'm looking over at my list, you see. It's all spread out across my extra desk. I have desks everywhere in this room. But I'm excited for everything that's coming up. A little bit tired already. You can see that I've already got bags, but it's, you know, I've got to keep myself focused, got to keep myself moving. So let me know if you are going to be coming along to any of the wool shows in 2024, if you've got any that you're planning on attending. Oh, I haven't mentioned, or did I say October? I didn't get as far as October, did I? October, of course, is the London Knitting and Stitching Show. Got workshops for there. And then we're going to have, in November, will be Harrogate Knitting and Stitching Show. No doubt, fingers crossed, I'll have workshops for there as well. And then December, oh my God, my whole year is planned out. Most of it has been planned out for most of the year. And we're just kind of sneaking a few extra bits in here and there where I can. And I am already planning 2025. This is terrifying. What happened to me? Hey, no more flying on the seat of my pants. Just need to get organised and finish up all this admin in the background so that everything can be plain sailing and smooth. So I'm not sharing what's coming up right here at the moment because all of it needs to be edited. I know the next pattern release date, which is kind of mid-June, I think, mid-June, and then the other one's not until the end of July. So I've got a few tutorials and hints and tips to share with you. I hope you've already made yourself, it's just sat here on the desk still. Hope you've made yourself one of your, that's the big one, let me get the little one. Hope you've made yourself a little wristlet for your mobile or your little, I'm going to finish off my granny square bag today, that's what's on my list. I'm hoping to get a couple more handle tutorials out for you because I really do enjoy adding these little elements of fun onto our bags. But this is available for you in my channel now. I think that was everything I wanted to share with you. Just everything's coming up, everything's happening at the same time, and just keep letting me know that it's okay to keep moving forward. I'm trying not to get stuck on certain tasks and keep moving. And of course, keeping on stitching. I am going to go and wind these so I can get ready to get stitching these new designs so that they're ready in time for later in the year. I would love to know what you've been working on, what you've got coming up over the summer months. Is it a time of crochet chill? Do you not crochet very much over the summer? Do you stick to those smaller projects? Or like me, do you crochet all year round and just keep going? Thank you as always for joining me. I'm going to go crack on with the next things to do, and I'm going to see you in the next video.